What's going on, boys? It's Flaws, and in this video I'm going to give you 5 tips that pros are using for utility that you're not in your games. The biggest one, the first one, is using smokes effectively to like push the aggression back onto the T side. So if they're hitting the site, you're getting executed on, you see these smokes coming in, you're like, alright, what do I do here? Some people will just sit back and they'll wait. They'll be like, alright, they're hitting the site, we're going to retake A. But what I like to see, and what pro players will do or high level players do, is they'll actually put some aggression back into this, right? They'll throw a smoke through it, they'll play on the other side of the smoke, they'll play on this bench, they'll see people that are crossing the site. They're kind of like splitting the site in half, right? They're splitting the site, they can bomb any information if anyone's playing CT. They need to be worried about anyone triple. They can just sit behind this, get some free kills. Maybe they get a kill or two, fall back out. And then your team's at like a huge advantage to retake the site, retake the round. So it's a great way to get back into the round, just to show you that it's not really like site based, it's not really map based. Over at B, if you see people coming in, this, okay, you get maybe a kill or you see like smokes and nades coming through. What I like to do is I'll throw a smoke like this, and I'll just wait behind it, right? What this does is anyone that's pushing through either has to make a decision to consciously go through the smoke or just wait it out, which is 18 seconds so that my team can rotate, or they swing on this part of the site and hope that they can find me behind it, which they don't even know if I'm actually behind it. They just see the smoke go up and they're like, all right, I'm going to try to like push deep into the site. And you might even get like a free kill or two of just people like not even clearing this angle out, right? Because it's so tough. It makes the site really weird and strange. Obviously in CS2 there's ways where they can like nade it out. But if they're throwing this nade with their whole team executing, like it's kind of risky. Like you'll see, even if they do that, you might be able to flick over and get a free kill. Kind of 50-50ing the fight, which you would have done anyway if you didn't use this smoke. So it's a great way to like delay, kind of have a pocket of the site that you're holding and keep it so that your team knows that they can rotate in. If I'm here and I'm alive while my team's rotating in, right? They're so much better off to just swing onto the site, right? It's so much less likely because they know no one's bench. They know no one's really playing close here on site. You can swing back into the site basically freely, right? Like, okay, yep, that's clear, that's clear. Okay, might get like a couple fights towards cat here, but that's way better than you having to like clear this out, be worried about bench the whole time while I'm trying to retake. So keep that in mind. It's a really good way to like hold your own pocket and put some aggression towards the T's as they're hitting the site. On the T side, there's a couple different ways you can use smokes effectively that pros are doing that you're probably not. First one, you can use it to lurk out with, something like this. You can throw that. You can even back off after you throw that, but like something like this, you can even have some kind of preset spams. So like here, okay, yeah, no one CT, interesting, and then you call that out to your team, or maybe you do see one CT. Maybe you get a free kill, which if you do, like that's, you know, that's unlucky for the CT player, but you can do things like that. That puts a lot of pressure on the CTs. They don't know how to respond. They don't know if they need to rotate right away. Same thing for like mid. If you're here, you don't really have like a use for your smoke on the execute. Doesn't really hurt to like throw a smoke like this. Obviously you don't want to be seen by like the icon, but something like this. You can even like follow this up with a flash as you're backing off here. Like that. Puts a little bit of pressure on the CTs. They don't know what's going on top mid. They don't know if the whole team's behind the smoke or one guy or no one. So it kind of creates this chaos on the CT side. Over at B, just to show you, it doesn't matter the map, doesn't matter the site. You can always like use your smokes to get some misinformation for the CTs. Like that. That's a decent one. This way you can throw a little bit deeper as well. But basically what this does is anyone that's playing cat can't really like see if you're creeping up. Anyone that's playing backside, if you throw it a little bit better, they can can't see if you're like moving up, something like this. Depending on how you want to play the round, depending on what you actually want to smoke off. That is weird that it bounced like that. There we go, something like that, right? It just kind of puts a question mark on like the other CT's team of like what's going on in the round. Is there 5 people in that smoke? Is there no one in the smoke? Is someone going to be like flying through this as it's fading? Is there going to be some flashes coming through? Like all that's racing through the CT's mind. So that's all just through one smoke, right? You can obviously follow that with like a flash. You can even throw a nade just to like try to get a pick through it. So maybe you're mid. You think that one's in window? Throw the smoke. Okay. Throw a nade. Right. you might get a free pick that way. It's a weird way to like try to find a new pick, a new angle. But enough talking about smokes. Let's move on to flashes. So for pop flashes that you can like self throw, so self throw pop flashes, something like this. That's fine and all. Like you'll probably get free kills doing that sometimes, but the problem with doing that is if you're playing high level people, they have their like audio turned up perfectly, so they're gonna hear that bounce off the wall. They're gonna time their turn so they hear it bounce, or maybe they even see it come through. Let's throw one like a little bit better. So let's say you're throwing one like here, which is great, but they hear that coming out of ramp and they hear dink, and then they go turn back as it pops, and they get that trade back onto you. Or they hear it dink off the wall, they unpeak, it pops, they repeak, and they get that like, I mean, they're kind of at an advantage because they are pre-aimed exactly where you're gonna be peeking into. But you can obviously throw that flash like if it's a chaotic round, stuff's coming out. I love this flash. I'm not saying don't throw pop flashes, but like if you can have a teammate throw it, so that's what I was getting to. If you have a teammate who's in a deeper point and it can throw like a flash for you where it's no audio cue, like something like this on front sight. Let's say you're playing like default. Okay, that pops. You can peek with it. Like your teammate throws it perfectly. You can even have them throw it so that let's go to like a good example. How about this? For connector here, if I'm trying to peek like a guy top mid, I know that they might be working through mid. I could obviously throw a flash like this, or I swing out with it. Okay, that's great and all, but it would actually be better if I had like a player who's playing like triple box and isn't really doing much, just to come here, throw a flash over through mid, maybe a little bit lower than that, so like something like this. And then I'm swinging with that, right? Because not only can I already be pre-aimed on my angle I want to be aimed in on, I don't have to like do this crazy turn and then readjust. I can just say, hey, can you pop flash mid? Yep, okay, they throw the flash over, it pops. You're swinging with it. Anyone that's like looking towards here, one can't really like turn quick enough. Also, they're not looking there, like they're not going to react to that if they see like a little pixel move on the top of their screen. They're more worried about this guy connector that they saw earlier in the round. Okay, yeah, it pops. You get one. They're both blind. Get 1 kill, 2 kills. Then you can get out, right? That's way safer than me throwing it off the wall. Someone mid hearing it and then being like, oh, okay. They hear it bounce off the wall. They go like this. Pops. They turn. That's a free kill for them, right? So keep that in mind with flashes. If you can have someone on your team throw the flash for you, always ask for it. Same thing for like even retakes, right? Like if someone's playing front bench like this, you know, they're doing their work. I'm retaking from here. I might throw a flash like this, if they call it. It's not the greatest flash, but anyone that's cat will be blind. They swing out, get a free kill. You just gotta communicate with your team. You'll always hear it in pro games. They'll be like, hey, can you flash this? No, I don't have a flash. All right. Anyone else got a flash? I got one. Can you flash through con, right? And they'll just be like, all right, yeah, I got you. We'll throw something like this. Perfect. Pops right there. Okay, they swing out with it. They get 1 kill, 2 kills, and they're out. And that's like the freest kills in all of Counter-Strike, right? You might get spammed, you might get op when the person's blind. You know it happens, but if you can have your teammate throw the flash and they don't hear the sound cue of one, the flash actually like getting clicked and thrown, but also it not hitting off a wall or anything, like that is the perfect flash, and that's what you should be looking for in all your games. Obviously, it's a little different with like teammates that don't communicate well and don't really work off each other. But if you can, it's like a fantastic way just to work through a site and not only like get free kills, but just kind of push people back. And like there's no counter to it. Like that's the biggest part. Talking about Molotovs though, let's move on a little bit. If someone's hitting the site quick, so like they're hitting A, maybe they don't have like a lot of util, or they do and they smoke this out. They smoke this out. What do I not want to happen? I don't want them to cross to site, right? What I can do, I can wing a molly like this. Yeah, that one's not perfect, right? But if you're on the T side, you might not even push this. You might not be like, oh, okay, like they mollied me out. Let's just wait a quick second and let's get the bomb down afterwards, which is fine, right? You might throw a molly like this. That's just like perfect. You know that they're not going to be running to site and planning right away. Or if they do, it's not in the spot you mollied. Same thing for here. You get smoked out like this. Instead of just throwing your molly like at ramp, which does like really nothing, they could even smoke this out pretty quickly. It's better to like just wait a sec. Okay. Once you think they're about to plant, throw a molly like that. Wait it out. Okay. Still waiting. That molly's fading. They might go for a plant again. Or I might even just hold a nade, just wait for it, right? That nade, that molly, all that damage being put on the planter, it could easily get a kill, right? Which is awesome. It's a great way to find like a free kill. You don't even have to like take a actual like aim duel. That's a really cool way just to like utilize your molly and cut off a point where it's like let's combo with this smoke over at B, right? Okay, we throw that smoke. Not really hearing anything come out. Throw this molly behind it. We're just waiting. What that's doing is, okay, the T's want to push out onto site. They drop through here. I get the sound cue. They don't want to drop through there. They want to push through my smoke. I'm kind of forcing them to like change up their route, change up what they want to do in the round. If they don't change it, they're going to be damaged. I'm getting like free hit points taken away from the other team when they're pushing in. I can aim for the body. I can aim, you know, for like lower parts of their body and be more confident in that I'm actually going to hit the shot than just hitting the headshot on the person crossing on site. So it's a great way to like whittle them down, slow them down, always delay, always slow them down when they're hitting the site. So keep that in mind when you're using Molotovs. Don't just be throwing them in areas where like it doesn't make any sense. If you're even like here, you don't want people to like run through these smokes. Let's say you don't have a smoke here to use it earlier in the round. It doesn't hurt just to throw a molly on the other side of that, right? What that does, anyone that's here, I'm not pushing close to this smoke. I'm wrapping around it if I'm going to be playing through this, and like I need my teammate to flash me through on the T side. So always use your Molotovs like effectively. Don't just be throwing them because you bought them and they cost a lot. You can also combo them with nades, which is like huge. Like let's say like, okay, I know that they're planning on Firebox, something like this, and follow it up with a nade, right? That molly should have been a little better, but you get lucky with it, or you're not unlucky with it like that, and then you follow it up with a nade on default. Like I know that if anyone's planning right here, they're gonna get absolutely messed up by both of those. So always use it to delay, always use it to take away areas from your opponent. Without ranting too much, talk a little bit more about HEs. You don't really want to throw the same one every round. You kind of want to swap it up. If you see like nades coming through, that's a great time on CT side to use nades. So, like, okay, like a couple nades come over the top, I swap to this, throw something like this, reposition, and I'm playing from a little bit different angle where the nade was even thrown from. But on top of that, I'm softening them up for when they're actually hitting the site. I can throw that nade, throw this molly like this. Now I know, like, it's really awkward for them to swing out. Same thing over at B. They could obviously smoke it, but that takes time. Makes it a little bit more awkward for them. Same thing here. I see some people coming through. Throw a nade like this. Just play on the right side of sight. Anyone that's playing over here, I know probably got hit by that nade. I can like peek out, shoot a couple shots into their like stomach. Free kill. On the T side, a little different the way that I'll like use HEs, but what I like to do is if our team's hitting a site, like let's say like we hit a guy triple box a little bit. If I'm like third or fourth guy coming in, it doesn't hurt to just like throw a nade there. I can't even tell you the amount of kills I've gotten from doing that. Like there's a guy that's like low HP, but you know, still obviously very deadly in the fight and hard to clear out. I just throw a nade like that. We're not worried about him anymore. We're not slowing down the hit. We're not aimed in on him. We don't have to like worry about that angle, right? That's a great way to clear out angles that are tough. Like same thing over at B. And this isn't like Mirage dependent at all. It's just like, I'm showing this on Mirage because it's a great map to kind of just showcase like what I'm talking about. Same thing over at B. Let's say like we're hitting the site. Okay, yeah, the guy back site like lit. I throw something like that. That could easily take a guy who like could be like an opera or could be a playmaker and hit 2 headshots and change the round. That just completely takes him out of the round, right? So keep that in mind. That's like a really effective way to use HEs instead of just like the first 10 seconds of the round. Let me blow it towards ramp every single time. Let me throw this every round. Which like, you know, that can be great. That can be an awesome way to slow down a push, but why not just hold it like a couple more seconds so you're guaranteeing 50 damage, 100 damage on the whole team if they're all rushing in. Same thing with the planner. Like it's a amazing way if they're like planning. You don't know if they're planning here, but what you can do, let's say you're smoked out CT. I mean, this is like pretty obvious now that you can do it in CS2, but I still don't see a lot of people using this, right? You can throw a nade like this. You can wait even a split second, re-peek, get some information for your team, and like just kind of cancel out a smoke completely. Same thing on a CT. If like, okay, you're on T side and the CTs are defusing like your bomb that you planted for yourself. You hear that like, you hear the smoke go out. Always rough, but you hear that go out. What you can do, peek out, make sure no one's like holding you, then throw it. You have the time to do that and then get that free kill. So, I mean, obviously it's a little more obvious because like CS2, that's the new feature in it, but never forget about that in a round. I think that's kind of forgotten, that it's like, it's just possible to like completely mitigate what's and execute. Like if someone's jungler here, hear him coming in, throw a nade in the smoke. That's like 1, 2, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, where you can see through it and get some information for your team and just call out like what's actually going on. You might get a free pick, you might get, I don't know, you might get killed, but it's a good way to like confuse the T's and just have them like be aware and delay of certain positions. I hope I didn't rant too much on this video, guys. I appreciate you guys watching. I hope this helped. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.